What's up, everyone, and welcome into episode 14 of our BSC drafts. Once again, I am PK alongside my two best buddies, Phil and Pat. Pat, welcome back for another exciting episode. It's episode 14 of this weird little spin-off we started. We discussed as a company that every 5 episodes we would do this bracket buster type show. Our last one was the World Cup bracket, and although it's only been 4 episodes since our last one, it's March, and that means madness. For today's episode, the college basketball tournament is underway. It's been going underway for about 2 weekends now. Now, we don't cover basketball at all. I've been playing since I was 3, but I don't watch it. So why would 3 unqualified people pick the bracket? Because of the way we're gonna pick it, of course. Using the real bracket that is out, we will be picking the winner of the tournament based on the college team names. So, gentlemen, this should be a fun time, right?
When we first came up with this idea, I was pretty jazzed about it, and not knowing a ton about this year's NCAA tournament or any of the 64 college team names all that well.
Unqualified.
I was excited though, and I was like, all right, this will be a little bit different. And then the more we did research, the more we found out that colleges need more mascots and different team names because there are way more repeats than I ever would have anticipated or expected.
Yeah, there's way more cats than I would have expected for mascots.
I feel like it's easy
boring
go-to.
generic names.
I don't know,
You're going to be a tiger today. Whoopee.
Right, I feel like cats are, our school mascot was the panther. It's a type of a cat. Lions, tigers. I don't know.
I was a lumberjack.
If they were on here, it'd be one of the more unique names, and not a repeat.
I'm looking at the top left of the bracket, and I see 2 tigers off the bat. Why does everybody pick tiger? I don't get it.
Cougars, wildcats. What's with the bobcat? A lot of cats.
People like cats. Specifically colleges.
Yeah, I feel like it's just simple. I also do like cats.
So, gentlemen, we're going to try to make this one go a bit quicker than our previous 2 brackets. I know we get carried away every once in a while, but this should be easier because there's some pretty terrible names. So we'll start in the top left of the bracket. We got the number 1 seed Alabama Crimson Tide versus the Texas A&M Corpus Christi Islanders. And that was the longest name because it messed up my Excel spreadsheet, and I've had to do much. I know, don't start with the spreadsheet jokes already, but we got the Alabama versus Texas A&M, and they're actually 2 Texas A&M schools, which is another weird thing.
I think the Tide would wash the Islanders away.
So I looked up what the heck a Crimson... I looked up some of these just because they are named the Crimson Tide because their jerseys one time got really red with mud, and it stain their jerseys red, and that's why they're the Crimson Tide. And I just hate Alabama. I hate Nick Saban. So I'm going with the upset of the 16 seed, Texas A&M Corpus Christi Islanders.
I agree with Phil that the Tide would wash away Islanders.
But they're not actually a Tide. They're a stain.
Are they actually Islanders?
I don't know. I didn't look up that because I knew what an Islander was.
Texas isn't an island, so...
They want to be their own island, though.
And a Tide would wash it away.
I know you don't like Alabama, but as far as straight-up names go, I like Crimson Tide better than Islanders.
Agreed.
Okay, fine. I got Alabama moving on. That's fine. Well,
I don't think you can do that.
It's going to be one of those shows. I get it. So right underneath that, we'll just go in order here. The number 8 seed, Maryland Terrapins probably. West Virginia Mountaineers. Terrapins are actually, Phil, do you want to read this description? Because I know you found up a funnier description than I found.
Yeah, the Oxford Dictionary, so I don't know if it's the very official definition is a small edible turtle with lozenge-shaped markings on its shell found in coastal marshes of the eastern U.S. I don't know why this poor little turtle is considered edible in the 3rd word of its definition, but apparently people eat them, I guess?
Yeah, 2 things with this. I looked it up, and I just got an aquatic turtle that are aggressive and will bite. And secondly, What makes you look at a turtle and go, I'm going to try that. That might taste good. It's got a hard outer shell.
I mean, technically, people eat like alligator and things, and that would be even more discerning.
Yeah, but those are
to look
bigger,
at.
so you got to think there's like meat inside
Right,
of it. A little
that's
tiny
fair.
turtle.
Yeah, a little turtle's not doing much for you.
I also don't want to know
Turtles have a
how
built-in
they would-
bowl.
Yeah, how would you eat it? You just going to the end and just sucking it in?
Yikes, this is getting disturbing real quick.
I'm going little turtle. I'm going terrapins.
I was also leaning terrapins.
Same.
That's an easy one, gentlemen.
Mountaineer seems interesting, but a little boring.
A little boring.
boring.
5 seed San Diego State Aztecs. And number 12 seed College of Charleston Cougars.
The question is like, what cat do I want to advance out of all the cats?
Where's the line being drawn?
Right, like which cat? Some cat has to advance, but which one of the cats do I want?
Do we have to allow a cat to advance?
I would like a cat to advance.
I know you would.
Do you want a cat to advance this early?
Well, if it doesn't advance now, then it's over.
I feel at some point there's going to have to be a cat that advances because it's going to be 2 cats going up against each other. And I'm looking at one now at the bottom of this bracket. So you're guaranteed a cat advancing to the second round.
All right, I'll let it go for now. I don't know. I mean, the Aztecs don't really do anything for me, but I guess it's more unique and interesting than the Cougars.
Agreed.
Cougars are scary, though.
I didn't mind
Also
the
agreed.
College of Charleston Cougars, though, because it's the triple C's.
We do like the alliteration.
I like the alliteration.
Oh, there it is. There it is.
Jinx.
Yeah, I mean, San Diego Aztecs isn't really doing much. I mean, I have no problem with the Cougars advancing. Cougars are fun.
I think he's using, what do you call it? Reverse psychology against me to try to get the Cougars. I'm sticking with the Aztecs.
Ooh, I was going to say I could go either way. I was leaning Aztecs, but the alliteration of the Cougars.
We do like alliteration, especially in Buffalo. We got a lot of it.
Yeah, you're swaying
Too
me.
much. Too much.
And that's
I'll
a
go-
triple. That's a triple alliteration.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the triple C's.
Oh.
All right, the
New
triple
nickname,
Cs once
Triple C.
again. I am getting outvoted once again. 4 seed Virginia Cavaliers versus, you're going to have to help me with this one. Number 13, Furman Paladins.
I believe so.
Paladins?
Paladins?
I looked it up.
Okay,
Yeah,
here we go.
I looked it up. It is a knight renowned for heroism.
A heroic knight versus Cavaliers.
See, I'm going that way because they could have just been called the Furman Knights, but they got technical and more precise, and everybody goes knights. Not everybody goes paladins. Paladins.
Paladins.
Yeah, I don't know.
Cavaliers are knights?
They are. I got that too. They are
I'm thinking of
supporter
Age
of,
of
King
Empires.
Charles the First. That's the exact definition.
Isn't
Go
that
Paladins.
right? And aren't paladins? It's not what we're discussing, but aren't paladins and cavaliers both in Age of Empires?
I
The
didn't play Age
Cavaliers
of
were like
Empires enough to know.
I think they were the horse-mounted knights, and they were pretty helpful.
You think like cavalry?
Is that what I'm thinking of? Cavalry? Cavaliers?
Yeah.
They're all knights.
A cavalier might be in the cavalry. Who knows?
Yeah, I'm not. I have very neutral feelings. I'm not really excited one way or the other.
I'm going Furman just because it sounds like a furry man, and
Yep.
that makes me smile.
All right, furry knights advance.
So we'll move on to the next bracket, and I think this one's going to be a pretty easy one. Number 6, Creighton Blue Jays versus the NC State Wolfpack. I'm voting Wolfpack because, will you join my Wolfpack of The Hangover, all 3 of them, even though they should have stopped after 1? I'm going with the Wolfpack.
I am also easily on Wolfpack's side.
I will join your wolf pack.
I told you that was going to be a quick one. Here we go. Number 3, Baylor Bears for the versus the number 14 seed UC Santa Barbara Gauchos. Now, for those that don't know what a gaucho is, I looked that up too. It is a cowboy of South America.
I feel like a bear eats a cowboy 9 times out of 10.
I don't know.
Cowboy have a
Cowboys
gun?
got guns.
What was that? The movie, The Revenant. Have you seen that?
Nope. Is that the
That,
one with the guy that
with
only
Leo?
dates girls that are under like 25 or something like that?
Yeah. That bear messed him up. And he had a gun.
But did he survive?
But was the bear over 25?
Probably not.
It's an old bear. I'm going to go alliteration again. I'm going to go with the Baylor Bears. The BB.
Woo!
I'll go with the BBs just because it's going to keep screwing me up every time moving forward, and it's going to make you laugh, and that's what these podcasts are for. It's to make fun of PK.
Pat's vote doesn't matter because 2-1. All right, moving on.
I already
We're
said
going to
Bears.
completely ignore. Number 7 seed, Missouri, or Missouri, as people there like to call it, Tigers, versus the 10 seed Utah State Aggies. And I looked up what an Aggie
Aggies?
was also. Aggies? Yeah, who
Aggies.
cares? Someone from the farm.
Yeah, so you got agriculture versus a tiger eating all the crops.
Again, are you advancing a tiger?
I feel like a lot of cats are going to advance.
Sadly, yeah.
There's so
not
many
sticking up with
cats.
the farmers.
It's hard not to.
But
I'll pick the Missouri Tigers just because they're going to be a sad tiger advancing.
It's a depressed tiger. I mean, if we advance them and Pat tries to sway us in the next round, he could get his Tiger v. Tiger matchup he's been looking for.
You know he was eyeing that.
Yeah, Aggies doesn't do anything for me. I'm going Tiger as well.
yeah, Tigers are cool.
Tigers are cool. Tony's in there.
So
He's a tiger.
that is true. It's Tony the Tiger, and Tigers continue. Number 2, Arizona Wildcats versus the number 15 Princeton Tigers. I'm not voting for the Tigers just because Princeton's supposed to be this super smart school, and they named their school Tigers. You couldn't get any more creative. I guess smart people are boring, and I'm not smart, so I'm not boring. I'm going Arizona Wildcats.
I was
On the
thinking
fly,
Wildcats.
Wow.
Well, I think Wildcats encompasses lots of cats, whereas Tigers just one. You get a whole pack of Wildcats versus just Tigers.
I do also like Wildcats as well. But PK, can you come up with a on-the-fly Princeton team?
Yep. The Princeton Brainiacs.
What
I was going to say
you're-
Princeton Penguins.
Now we're talking.
That alliteration.
Yeah, my vote.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well,
The Princeton
just keep going.
Princes. And princesses.
Like I said, we're going to keep moving on with this bracket. We're just going to fill out this whole bracket till they make it to the final one here. We got the Alabama Crimson Tide versus the number 8 seed Maryland Terrapins. Are we going a stain or are we going a turtle?
You went right back. I do love the idea of the turtle moving on.
Yeah, I think Terrapins way better than just Crimson Tide.
That works for me because I was tired of the Crimson Tide anyway. So we'll move on to the next one. Next one, we got the Triple C's of the Cougars, the number 12 seed College of Charleston Cougars versus the number 13 seed Furman Paladins.
I mean, part of me wants to pick Paladins just so you have to keep saying it over and over, but the
I'm
Triple
just gonna
C
call them
alliteration is pretty exciting.
I was going to go Furman Paladins. I think it's more unique.
That's fair.
Yeah, I'm going to stick with the Furry Men. That's
right.
what I got advancing.
All right, moving on.
So we got the number 11 seed NC State Wolfpack versus the alliteration of the number 3 seed Baylor Bears.
I'm going Wolfpack all day.
Yeah, I think Wolves are cooler than Bears, but that BB is
Baylor
kinda swaying
Bears.
me a little bit. I think I'm going to stick with Wolfpack.
All right, the NC State Wolfpack once again advances in another upset. The 11 seed moves on, and we are in the last one here of the second round of the top bracket. We got the Missouri Tigers, the number 7 seed, versus the number 2 seed Arizona Wildcats.
Well, Wildcats already beat Tigers once, so I guess they should theoretically beat them again.
Just watch me do a 180.
Yeah, I'm picking the Missouri Tigers. I want the
Wow.
depressed little tiger to advance.
I'm sticking with
I'm sticking
Wildcats.
Wildcats.
All right, that was easy.
Wildcats advances Zona. Okay.
PK is still upset.
We are in the final 4 of the top bracket here. We have the Maryland Terrapins versus the Furry Men Paladins. Are we going with the number 8 seed or the 13 seed here, gentlemen?
Here's the thing. These are both unique, especially looking
They
at the
really
rest of
are.
our board. I don't think we see these repeat, which is pretty rare, sadly. So this is a tough battle. This is what you want to see at this point in the bracket, and oof.
Well, I'll get it out of the way. I'm going with the apparently delightful tasting turtle. I'm going with the terrapins.
Do you like the idea of the turtle?
I
Is it 'cause
kind of
you're
want to.
hungry?
No,
See, we should
I
pick
don't think
him.
I'd ever eat turtle.
We should pick him to raise awareness for people to not eat adorable turtles.
I mean, he's got an aggressive side, but he does seem pretty adorable.
Yeah, but you'd be aggressive too if people were trying to eat you, though.
That's fair.
Little man syndrome.
All right, Terrapin is moving on.
Maryland, the number 8 seed, moves on to the Elite 8. And we move on here. We got the NC State Wolfpack versus the Missouri Tigers, the 7 seed. No, I'm sorry. Missouri did not advance.
what are
You
you
said the Arizona Wildcats advanced. So it's the Wolfpack versus the Wildcats. Which one is going to advance here?
I'm going with the pack of wolves.
Yup. Wolves are
Okay,
cooler than cats.
Hey, watch it.
So we have a number 8 seed here and a number 11 seed. We got Maryland Terrapins, the little turtle that think he could, versus the NC State Wolfpack. Oh my God, that would be a terrible fight.
It depends on how many terrapins there are.
It is plural. There's only one wolf pack. I don't know how many are part of the pack, but there's probably more turtles than packs of wolves.
More turtles. I had the wolf pack pretty high on my board in general because I like it. So sadly, I think I'm going wolf pack, but I'll let you guys duke it out.
PK, what are you thinking?
I'm leaning. Where is this battle between the two happening? Is it on a beach?
I feel like it would have to be an even playing field.
I feel like on a beach is an even playing field. Can the
For a
turtles make
turtle?
it to the sea before the wolf pack can catch them?
Yeah, turtles are more used to sand. Wolves won't be able to, they won't be able to get a good grip on the sand as they try and chase the turtles.
I don't think you know the size of these turtles.
I don't know the size of these wolves.
I'm going the turtle that thinks you could. I'm going the little turtles. I'll let you be the deciding vote here. Moves on to the final 4.
I like both. There weren't any other turtle names, were there?
Not that I remember seeing.
Oh, I'm going to go Terrapin.
Yeah, Maryland advances.
It was tough.
For the guy who's seen wolves in real life, he's going with the fantasy turtle.
He's never seen a turtle in real life.
I've never seen a Terrapin, as far as I know.
That's what I'm saying.
Now he sees them all the way to the final 4.
Terrapin is just kind of sounds cool.
So
It's
we
a
will move on to the
terror
bracket
pin.
right below them.
Ooh, I like that.
We got the number 1 seeded Purdue Boilermakers, which by definition, checks out. A person who makes boilers versus the Fairleigh Dickinson Knights. So we do have a Knights on the board here, but we also have people that make boilers.
But now I feel like we just have a less cool version of a paladin.
That is true.
I do like the FD though.
FDK.
Yeah, that's a good fit. Was it Fairleigh Dickinson?
Fairleigh Dickinson. They actually won in real life too.
They did. Quite the upset. Wow, we got a lot of Knights.
No longer unqualified.
It's tough because we can see the whole board, and you can see that there's, like you said, paladins, and there's other knights and things coming up. We don't really have any more Boilermakers. I don't know how far a Boilermaker's going to make it throughout this, but I don't know. I feel like making a boiler is pretty tough, and if it's a good boiler, I mean, maybe you could boil the knights.
Yeah, I'm going Boilermakers just because it's the stupidest name out there.
I was also leading Boilermakers.
Yeah, why would you name a team after people that make boilers? What have they done? I don't get it.
They've kept people warm.
Yeah, well, have you seen my hot water tank lately? It doesn't work.
That's not a boiler.
It could be. It boils water.
Next.
And don't say it doesn't because I had to empty that thing and that water was boiling.
All right, moving on.
Yeah, number 8 seed Memphis Tigers. Once again, the 3rd Tiger so far versus the Florida Atlantic Owls. Who?
Owls all day.
Yup.
Okay, nice and easy. Next.
We'll move on. It's the number 5 seeded Duke Blue Devils versus the number 12 seeded Oral Roberts Golden Eagles.
Blue Devils for me.
I was leaning the ORGE, Oral Roberts Golden Eagles.
Well, I was leaning the DBD.
Gold is a better color than blue.
Yeah, but a Blue Devil is more fun than a Golden Eagle.
We'll go Blue Devils.
I'll say I'm not going to disagree with you, but I'm keeping my answer.
All right, this is the one that Pat has been clamoring for this whole time, but I don't know if he knew who they were going against. The number 4 seeded Tennessee Volunteers versus the number 13 seeded Louisiana Ragin' Cajuns. And just to further push this point down, the Ragin' Cajuns were connected to a legacy of successes that stems from the roots of the Cypress Lake.
I mean,
And volunteers.
Raging Cajun was like top of my list for this entire bracket. So they're for me, they are quite easily through. No offense to the Volunteers, but Raging Cajun is just a good time.
Pat, I'll give you a quick 15-second argument for the Tennessee Volunteers starting now.
It's dumb, and I kind of like that about it. The end. But Raging Cajuns is definitely a way better name.
I was going to say I went with the Boilermakers because they were dumb. I can't go with the second one. Raging Cajuns advances. So we'll move on to the number 6 seeded Connecticut Wildcats versus the number 11 seeded Providence Friars. And a friar is a member of any related religious orders of men. So basically a religious thing kind of thing.
Wasn't
terrifying
that
mascot, by the way. Yes, terrifying mascot. John got him.
That's what I was going to mention. We already had Wildcats, so I feel like you got to go Friar. Also, we have Wildcats coming up once again in the next matchup.
Yep. That's what we were saying. These teams need to reevaluate what their team names are. They need to go to the Minor League Baseball Association and just steal some of those ones because that was a fun draft.
Wish I could have been there.
You could have been, but you were dying.
It was so bad. I'm going Wildcats because I like Wildcats.
I'm going Friars.
I'm not chancing a Wildcat, so
Why?
I'm going with Friars. And we'll move on to the number 3 seeded Kansas State Wildcats versus the number 14 seeded Montana State Bobcats. Phil or Pat, can you convince me Wildcats or Bobcats rather?
I feel like Bobcats are just Wildcats.
In theory, yes.
So I'm going to go Bobcats. Wildcats is played to death now.
I'm also going with the BC.
And I will make it a clean sweep. We'll move number 7 seeded Michigan State Spartans versus the USC Trojans. Just because I know John's going to listen to this, I'm not voting for USC. I'm going Michigan State.
I just love that Spartans versus Trojans. Like that they actually matched up against each other.
Did the Spartans and Trojans ever fight each other?
I mean, they're both.
I think it was like Thursday or Friday that they did.
Boo.
They're both old-timey knights and fighters. Now I got to Google it.
Isn't it a Trojan horse?
Yeah, the Trojans, they had a horse and they all hid inside.
Yeah, that's dirty pool. Voting Spartans still.
I'm leaning Spartans.
But are you leaning all the way?
I could probably be swayed if Phil so chose.
This is confusing to try to look up super quick. So I think it says, what was the cause of the fight between Troy and Sparta? So Troy and Sparta went to war because Helen, Queen of Sparta, there's a whole thing. So I believe they did actually fight. But it also says that Troy was in Greek mythology, whereas Sparta was a real city in ancient Greece. So who the heck knows?
This thing says, according to the Roman epic poet Virgil, the Trojans were defeated after the Greeks left behind.
Yeah, but by who?
Oh, no,
this
it
is
doesn't say Sparta. Never mind.
Right, because I saw that too, and I was like, great, that's done. And it doesn't say Sparta. So, where are you guys at? Sorry.
I'm at Spartans.
I'm leaning Spartans.
Yeah, Sparta's great. 300, great film. Go watch it. Sparta!
So Michigan State advances. We're on to the final one here. Number 2 seeded Marquette Golden Eagles. Another Golden Eagle in this one. And Vermont Catamounts. And I looked this one up. A catamount is a medium-sized or large wildcat, especially a cougar.
Wildcats.
They're mounted cats.
Yep.
Cats that mount. They just they hop on your head and sit there. Mount. You've been
Also,
mounted by a cat.
Is Vermont overpopulated by mounting cats?
I feel like there'd be catamounts up in Vermont.
I
Probably.
feel like Vermont's just known for like skiing.
Yeah, but it's wilderness.
That's fair, but are you getting attacked by a catamount?
No, they don't
When you're
attack. They
skiing?
mount.
You're right. I'm going with the mounted cats.
I'm going Golden Eagles because you guys shot it down before.
I'm going catamount and get golden eagles out of here.
A cat will not win this one. Okay, back to this bracket here. We got the Boilermakers versus the Owls. The 1 seed versus the 9 seed.
I don't know. I feel like owls are pretty sweet.
Yeah, I like owls. They can turn their head around.
They're in Harry Potter, so
They fly.
bring
Yeah,
me
Show me a
letters.
Boilermaker that
That
can
is-
turn their head around.
And bring me a letter.
I'm going Owls just because I feel like the Boilermakers in real life could be defeated by an owl.
Especially the
And if-
giant ones in Lord of the Rings. They're really big.
Yeah. I'm just
Those are
talking about a
eagles.
normal owl.
Never mind.
Those were
Think
Golden Eagles, Phil.
No, they weren't shiny.
All right, moving on. Duke Blue Devils, the number 5 seed, versus the number 13 seeded Louisiana Raging Cajuns. I think I know how this is going to turn out.
This was tough because I actually do like the Blue Devil. I don't know, not mascot, but name in general. I think it's a little more unique than some of the ones out there. But Raging Cajun, I mean, you're rhyming. It's pretty great. Really hard. It's gonna be a tough one to beat.
Raging Cajun all the way.
Yeah, I'm
Agreed.
gonna go RC.
So we'll move on here. We got the Providence Friars versus the Montana State Bobcats. We got the 11 seed versus the 14 seed. No matter what happens here, a double seeded is moving on to the Sweet 16.
I feel like Bobcats would just really tear apart Friars.
I think Bobcats just sound cool.
Yeah, I'm going Bobcats as well. Montana State advances.
And I believe, despite how many cats we got, it's our early Bobcat.
I believe so as well. And with this, it's the only Spartans versus the Catamounts. I'm just sticking with it. I'm going Mounted Cats.
Yeah, I like the idea of the mounted
Spartans.
cats. Okay, well, Pat lost.
Yeah, look how this turned around on this side of the bracket, Pat. Ah, ha, ha, ha. And we got a Sweet 16 here of the Florida number 9 seeded Florida Atlantic Owls versus the number 13 seeded Louisiana Raging Cajuns. Once again, Raging Cajuns.
RC, moving on.
Yeah. As much as I like Owls to Advance, Raging Cajun is just cooler name.
It's very tough to
Now
beat.
the game begins. The 14 seeded Montana State Bobcats versus the 15 seeded Vermont Catamounts. And once again, pretty easy for me. Catamounts advances for me.
Out of the two cats, I'm going with the cats that mount, so I'm also going catamount.
I'm just Bobcats just out of protest.
That's
Wow.
2-1 once again, keeping the tradition alive. Now, in the Elite Eight, looking to move on to the Final Four. This is going to be the tough one here. We got the number 13 seeded Louisiana Raging Cajuns versus the 15 seeded Vermont Catamounts. And this one is the toughest one I've had to deal with so far.
Same. I saw this slowly developing, and I'm not happy about it because I like both quite a bit. I know Pat is still in protest of catamount, so he's going to be tough to sway to the other way. So PK, it might be down to you or me for Raging Cajun or catamount.
Have you had Cajun food? It's pretty good.
I would say
Yeah,
not
but in
recently,
this case,
but I've had in
it's
general.
not that. It's connected to a legacy of success that stems from the roots of the Cypress Lake.
Do you still have that pulled up, or did you just have that memorized?
I have it written down on a
Okay.
notepad.
Oh, that was not a good time to take a sip of water.
But in this instance, it is not that.
It is not that.
It is
I
our
get
only.
where you're coming from, but it's not.
It's our only.
But they're also not
rhyming.
mounted cats.
They are. I've
They're
read
not.
it. You want me to read what a catamount is? A medium-sized or large wildcat, especially a cougar.
That's not mounted. That's just a small to medium cat.
Oh, right. I don't know where we got mounted from.
From me.
I just assumed that they mounted.
I've been
You
pushing
wanna
the
be
false
proven wrong?
narrative
Here's
this
the
whole time.
definition.
Oh, it worked. It worked. And almost because of that, I got to go with Catamounts just because Phil fooled me all this way. I'm going with the Vermont Catamounts.
You're going Catamounts just based off this thing Phil made up this whole time.
It made me laugh.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the mounted cats that don't mount.
Yes. And I think Pat wanted Raging Cajuns too. It's another 2-1.
They're both good names, but I'm just more annoyed that you picked Catamounts because of something Phil made up.
I thought I read mounted at one point. I just forgot it was medium, not mounted. Oh God. Okay, so our the left side of the bracket is the Maryland Terrapins versus the Vermont Mounted Catamounts. And we'll revisit that when we get back to the Final Four. Other side of the bracket, number 1 seed Houston Cougars, another Cougar, versus the number 16 Northern Kentucky Norse. And Norse, for those that don't know, is the Norwegian language.
Yeah, I was really hoping they were going with like Vikings, but it's just the language.
It's just the language based on the definition, yeah.
Well, I'm just going to go that they're actually Vikings, because if Phil can say that Catamounts are mounted cats...
Yeah, but he actually tricked me. You just saying that didn't trick me. I'm going Cougars.
Yeah, if it's just I mean, it's a cool language, Norse. I mean, from the Viking stuff we've seen, and I don't know. I'm just bummed that it's just the language. Why would you name your team after a language?
Maybe they didn't know their name
team
for
after
Vikings.
Tiger.
The New England English. Yeah, I'm going Cougars. I don't like that.
That trend continues. Pat, how's it feel to be on that side?
I secretly wanted Cougars to win.
That's fine. It did. Number 8 seed Iowa Hawkeyes versus the number 9 seed, for the 4th time, Auburn Tigers.
Yeah, I'm gonna Hawkeye all day.
Yep.
Yep.
Brooke's side of her family is actually from Iowa too, so whoopty, I can tell her that after, and she probably won't care whatsoever. So we'll move on to the 5 seed Miami Hurricanes versus the 12 seed Drake Bulldogs. And this one's actually tough. Why couldn't this have happened later on in the bracket? It's why do they have to match all these good names with each other?
I feel like this happened with our sports one when you did it randomly.
Yeah.
By using a generator, and it had some of the best matchups really early on. Like, oh, well, that's depressing. These probably could have all made the Final Four, and here they are in round 1 facing each other. Hurricanes are
scary.
I would say fun's not the right word. Yeah, they're scary. They're large. They can be very destructive. I think we have Bulldogs later on again. So
yeah, I think I'm going Hurricanes because Bulldogs is at quite a few schools. So I think I'm leaning Hurricanes.
I'm going Hurricane as well.
Sign on to Hurricanes.
Okay, next one is the number 4 seeded Indiana Hoosiers versus the 13 seeded Kent State Golden Flashes. And I got both of these for you. Hoosiers is just a native of Indiana. Whoop-dee, real creative, but I do love the movie Hoosiers. And a Golden Flash was picked in 1926 by a student, and it's just an eagle with a golden beak.
So it's Pat's Golden
Eagles?
Pretty much.
These are both not good.
I'm going Hoosiers just because I love the movie, and it's one of my favorite sports movies of all time.
And it's flashes.
Yeah,
it's
lots of flashes.
Gonna blind you.
It's like the PHF all over again with your whale instead of whales.
Yep.
But the opposite. They should have just done flash, and they went flashes.
Yep.
I
mean,
like
it is
flashes.
almost a 100-year-old word.
Can we maybe have Kent State and Connecticut swap S's?
We can try. We
All
can
right.
write a letter.
we'll get their contacts and we'll get them in contact. I don't know. Hoosiers, I guess.
Dang it, Phil.
Sorry.
Trent
I don't like the S.
Pat's losing again.
If it was Golden Flash, maybe, but Flashes is...
You're
Two
throwing
S's.
like a second S on it.
Yeah, no. Hoosiers is...
Yeah, see? Sounds weird, doesn't it?
Number 6 seed Iowa State Cyclones versus the 11 seeded alliteration Pittsburgh Panthers.
Dead silence. I'm going Cyclone because that's a little more exciting than the 9,000th cat we have seen. Panthers are cool in general as a big cat. I was going to say it'd be fun to own one, but probably terrifying, and I don't think I'd ever go near it. But Cyclones are a good time, so I'm going to go Cyclones.
Were you like swayed at all with Panthers because we were Panthers?
Nope.
What are you, a furry?
High school mascot.
I know. I was.
Okay. You were just
admit he's a furry.
Yeah, you're trying to be funny.
I was trying. I'm going Cyclones.
I like the alliteration, but Cyclones. I feel like Cyclones beats alliteration.
And Pat did wear a onesie that was too small of a dinosaur.
That has nothing to do with any of this.
Well, being a furry, they wear onesies of dinosaurs.
You're saying that. PK probably still has his, what was it, a fox?
I
one?
have two.
I was waiting for it to be brought up.
I do have two. Okay, number 3 seeded Xavier Musketeers versus the 14 seeded Kennesaw.
Yeah, well, there's no SN in there. So
I know.
Yeah.
I add letters.
I think it's
the
Kenny
owls.
Saw. Like Kenny Saw.
Kennesaw State.
Kennesaw.
It's the stupidest name. I'm picking Musketeers just because it's a stupid country. It's a stupid college. It's a stupid one.
I want to pick the Kennesaw State Owls, partly because I think owls are better, and I also want PK to try and say Kennesaw again later on.
Kenny saw some owls.
Dang it.
I don't know why.
Pick.
I was originally, like, when I first went through all this, I kind of liked the idea of the Musketeers. I also always liked Xavier as a name. That's a pretty cool name. I'm gonna go Musketeers.
Yes.
I also don't mind the candy. It's not bad. It's lower on my list, but if it's there, I'm gonna eat it.
I do like Three Musketeers. It's very fluffy.
Yeah, it's not bad. Not bad.
Okay, the second Texas A&M team, the Aggies, number 7 seed, facing the number 10 seed Penn State Nittany Lions. And I looked up Nittany Lions. It's just an Eastern Mountain lion.
So a wildcat.
Pretty much. Or a farmer.
Cats.
Yeah, cats.
Yep, cats, because there are no other Nittany lions.
I don't know if there's another lion.
We're going to find out. We're close to the bottom of the bracket here. We'll move on to the final one here. Number 2 seeded Texas Longhorns versus the 15 seed Colgate Raiders. And I'm going Colgate because it just reminds me of toothpaste.
Do they raid your toothpaste?
Apparently.
Like they come into your house and
Love
just
that toothpaste.
take your toothpaste?
Did you know toothpaste can also be used to plug up drywall holes?
You're telling me that the whole time I was working on my house, I could have just used toothpaste?
Probably a little bit more expensive, but
I was
yes.
gonna say, I don't know if it's any cheaper than spackle. See, this is another one that I would have liked to be mixed up. Longhorn and Raiders are both a little bit more unique in our list than the 9,000 cats. I like Raiders, sure.
Yeah, I was leaning Raiders, but I think Longhorns is a
Longhorns is a good one too. It's just it's a tough matchup. Tough matchup.
Yeah, there's been some tough and some duds here. We'll move on to the top of the bracket here again. The Cougars versus the Hawkeyes. Number 1 seed versus the 8 seed.
Yeah, Hawkeye for me.
That's what I'm also going with. Too many cats. I like Hawkeyes.
I got my cat into the top 4.
You did. You really did. So
fought hard for those mounted cats.
He just said it so seriously that it made me believe him, man. Okay, number 5 seeded Miami Hurricanes versus the number 4 seeded Indiana Hoosiers. Are we going a Hurricane or a native of Indiana?
Yeah,
Hurricane.
A lot of H's in this bracket.
That's what I'm also going with as well, Miami Hurricanes. Okay, we got the Cyclones of Iowa State versus the number 3 seeded Xavier Musketeers.
They're both pretty unique. I don't know why I like Musketeers so much. I think it's a form of a pirate, so that's probably why I'm leaning so hard for the Musketeer.
I think you also just like the Xavier, because I don't think there's another college that starts with an X.
I do like
It's pretty
Xavier.
unique.
It's a cool name. I'll go Musketeers.
I'm going Cyclones.
Oh, boy. Muskets.
Let's go Cyclones, so there's a second Iowa State team.
I think this is the first one I've lost all day.
How's it feel?
That's all right. I was pretty 50-50.
Okay, that's fair. We'll move on to the 10-seeded Penn State Nittany Lions versus the 15-seeded Colgate Raiders, the toothpaste brand.
I don't mind. Well, I guess I would mind my toothpaste getting rated. I wouldn't appreciate that. I don't know. I feel like I'm leaning Raiders because, again, we got a lot of cats. The Lions are big, but yeah, Raiders are a little more unique than some of the other names.
Yeah,
but they're
I'm going toothpaste
Nittany
as well.
Lions.
That's, I mean, a form of a lion's fun, I guess.
Too many cats. Way too many
Way
cats.
too many cats.
So back to the top again. We got Iowa Hawkeyes versus the Miami Hurricanes. Are we going to continuing the Hawkeyes tradition, or are they going to be wiped clean by a hurricane?
I feel like a Hawkeye couldn't fly during a hurricane. Be tough.
Yeah. Miami Hurricanes is my vote.
Are we talking about the superhero Hawkeye or just...
That's what I was wondering. But there's only one of him, and this is plural. So there's multiple Hawkeyes.
That's fair. So a lot of Jeremy Renners. Just
Yeah.
okay. So even more exciting. Do like
They
that
swayed me.
news.
I'm going Iowa.
Hawkeyes it is.
And to move on to the Elite Eight here, we got the Iowa State Cyclones versus the toothpaste brand of Colgate Raiders.
I think I'm going Cyclones. I was hoping for a Hurricane Cyclone matchup.
It's also in Iowa. I'm going with that as well. I'm going Cyclones as well, so we can have Iowa Hawkeyes. Or no, wait, no. Oh, dang it. Okay, now I have to rethink everything. Because Iowa was Hawkeyes, not Miami Hurricanes. Oh, man. Okay. Toothpaste it is.
What were you thinking?
I don't know.
Okay. That's a good answer. What flavor? I don't know if that's the right word, but what flavor toothpaste would Colgate Raider toothpaste be?
I feel
Probably
like
not great.
It's known for mint, right?
No, I know, but like
your
the
generic
specific
toothpaste.
Yeah, no, I'm saying like specific Colgate Raider.
I feel like a Raider wouldn't have a good flavor of toothpaste.
Cinnamon.
I don't mind that. Does it raid the plaque on your teeth?
Oh, he's helping? They're helping.
Yeah, they're helping. They're
Helpful Raiders.
helpful. Raiders.
I'm just imagining a Raider brushing someone else's teeth for them.
Get that plaque.
Yeah, I'm going Colgate.
I think you might have made me change my answer.
I'm gonna go Raiders.
Okay, to move on to the Final Four, we have the Miami Hurricanes versus the toothpaste brand of Colgate Raiders.
I
And
thought Hawkeyes advanced.
no, I was wrong. It was Hurricanes.
No.
It was Hawkeyes. You're right. Oh, I was right the
my
first time.
goodness.
What are you
Oh,
doing?
my God.
Is that why you picked Raiders?
Oh, okay. Yeah, we're back to the Iowa Hawkeyes versus the Colgate Raiders. I botched that. Pat was saying Hurricane versus Hurricane, and it confused my brain again.
He
I
said
know
that's what he
that before.
wanted.
I know, and it still got stuck in my head for some reason, so I'm going to blame him anyways.
Why can't you get
Iowa-
confused when it's something I want?
I confuse my brain all the time. Why did you give me the job of keeping track of this? We got Iowa Hawkeyes versus the Colgate Raiders. Decide.
So you wanted an all Iowa battle, is what was happening.
Apparently, I did.
We
My
could have
brain
had
said
it.
that's what I wanted.
So we got a lot of Hawkeyes, a lot of Jeremy Renners with bows, and then we got people that brush your teeth for you rating your plaque.
So I'm just going to go on record. Brushing my teeth is one of my least favorite things to do in life. And if I could have a Raider do it for me, my life would I would put myself so much more at ease, even though my life is not that stressful. I'm going Raiders brushing my teeth.
PK's been pushing hard for Colgate this whole time. A little 15 seed magic. Pat, where are you leaning?
It'll be the second 15 seed to advance to the Final Four.
I kind of like his thinking. I'm also wondering if he's just trying to get like a Colgate sponsorship.
Which
Ooh,
I would
not
not
sponsored,
be
but could be.
against, so that's fine by me.
Colgate Raiders.
Raiders
I
it
think
is.
I also
Final Four.
This
Okay,
episode
I
brought
think I
to you
used
by
Colgate.
Colgate.
They'll raid your
We're
plaque.
getting a lot of free sponsorship stuff here, so DM us. We'll send you our Venmo. Okay, bottom of the bracket here. Last one. Then we move on to the Final Four. The number 1 seeded Kansas Jayhawks versus the number 16 seeded Howard Bisons. And I'm just going Howard Bison because it sounds like the Bison's name is Howard.
I was wondering that too as I was looking at the name.
Did you find out what is a jayhawk just a version of a hawk?
Yeah, it's just a bird.
Howard the Bison sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Right?
All right. Works for me.
Massive upset. 16 seed takes down a 1 seed. We'll move on. 8 seeded Arizona Razorbacks. No, that's Arkansas. That's the state. Arkansas's Razorbacks versus the Illinois Fighting Illini.
Did you?
That's such a
did you
stupid.
do a Google
of the Illini? No.
Yeah, I didn't. I don't know what an Illinois. I was hoping you had it for me.
I'm assuming it's just a native of Illinois.
Razorback sounds cooler.
Yeah, I'm going Razorbacks. Because I don't think
that'll
there's
work.
another Razorback in any sport, maybe? I don't think there's another Razorbacks, right?
Probably not.
It's Illinois is 12 to 13 tribes who lived in the Mississippi River Valley. The term Illini in relation to campus activities appears to be first mentioned in January 1874 when the weekly newspaper changed name from The Student to the Illini. So
it's just stupid.
there you go.
Yeah, Razorbacks it is.
Pretty much Illinois. There's people of Illinois.
Yeah, I would have went Illinois, but you didn't make a movie, so tough luck. Number 5 seeded St. Mary Gulls versus the 12 seeded VCU Rams, and a Gull is a member of the Gaelic-speaking people inhabiting Ireland.
Irish people.
Pretty much.
I think it's a
Versus
Gale.
a ram. Gales?
Gales.
Yeah, like Gaelic.
Gaelic.
Yep.
That's the word I was trying to say. There you go. And I'm Irish.
Not the seagulls.
Cacaw Rams.
Yeah, I'm going Rams.
Sure, we can go Rams. Ireland does seem
Okay,
pretty
moving.
great to visit, but
Yeah, it does. We were close to it, Phil. We were very close to it. Number 4 seeded Yukon Huskies versus the number 13 seeded Iona Gales.
Huskies.
And I will make it a clean sweep. Number 6 seeded TCU Horned Frogs versus the 11 seeded and one that I actually drafted for the scariest mascot, Arizona State Sun Devils.
I'm going Sun Devil.
I was going Horned Frogs because they have been underrepresented. Yeah, in mascots. How
It's
many
our
frog
second
mascots
It's
are
our
there?
second frog and our second devil. So that's
Is it our
interesting.
second frog?
What do you fought for Terrapin all the way? Oh, that's a turtle.
That's a
That's
turtle.
I'm
First,
going Horned
first
Frogs.
frog, second devil. Horned frog it is.
Number 13 seeded Gonzaga Bulldogs versus the Grand Canyon Lopes. And a lope is a run or a more walking with a long bounding stride.
I mean, I guess that's what you do near the Grand Canyon. So
Both of these are dumb.
I get it for that, but still, yeah, pretty. Like, who voted on that? Like, yep.
Yeah.
Let's talk.
Bulldogs is better.
Yeah.
I just like Gonzaga better also.
Yeah. That's up there with Xavier.
Yes, very true. Okay, number 7 seeded Northwestern Wildcats, another gosh darn Wildcat, versus the 10 seeded Boise State Broncos. I'm going Broncos because I love the Boise State football field. It's just all blue.
That is
They're
pretty
also
cool.
one letter away from BSC.
Very true.
That's
Broncos.
the alphabet for you, folks.
The more you learn. Okay, number 2 seeded UCLA Bruins versus the UNC Asheville Bulldogs, the third Bulldog we've seen.
But what's a Bruin?
It's a bear.
Especially in children's fables. I looked it up.
I'm going to go Bruins.
Yep.
The
Clean
Bears are a Bruin.
All right, back to the top. We got Howard the Bison versus the Arkansas's Razorbacks.
Oh.
And Howard all the way.
Razorbacks are pretty cool.
Yeah, Razorback's way cooler, but I like the idea of this bison named Howard also.
He sounds real chill. Howard the Bison.
Yeah.
So you tick him off.
I don't know. I feel like he wouldn't have an angry side. He just sounds like he's just kind of hanging out.
Shrug it off, turn the other cheek, and then you'd
Yeah.
kind of feel bad for, doing whatever you did.
Right. You upset Howard. Come on. That's not nice.
You ever know the show Howard the Duck?
Yes.
Haunting. Absolutely haunting.
Very.
Okay, 12-seeded VCU Rams versus the 4-seeded Yukon Huskies.
Tough battle. I like Huskies, and Rams are pretty cool. Oof. I like Huskies quite a bit, though. I'm going to go Huskies.
Same.
Yeah, I've always had a fun time watching the Yukon Huskies. I've been a big fan of the Yukon Huskies women's team just because they were so good for so long, and they're still really good, but they went on that streak of 78 straight wins or something like that. They're really good.
It was insane.
So, yeah. So we'll move on here. We got the TCU Horned Frogs versus the 3-seeded Gonzaga Bulldogs, and I'm going Horned Frogs just because, like Pat said, they're underrepresented.
Yeah.
Clean sweep.
TCU moves on. We got a battle brewing here between the 10-seeded Boise State Broncos versus the UCLA Bruins, the number 2 seed.
I see what you did there.
What'd I do?
You said a battle of brewing.
Yeah, I didn't do it on purpose.
Oh,
Don't take
yikes. That's a little
That's just the
embarrassing
podcaster
that you
in me
didn't.
there, Phil. I don't even have to try. It just comes out of me now.
Right. We've already had a bear move on, and that got defeated, and that had solid alliteration. So I feel like I'm going to go with the Bronco because I feel like horses and Broncos are underrepresented as well. So we have two underrepresented animals possibly going at it.
Yeah.
This whole
State
bracket's
Broncos
pretty
just sounds
underestimated.
better.
And they got the blue field. But yeah, this whole lower bracket, pretty underrepresented.
We have 2 Gales.
What?
2 Gauls? Gauls? Is
Gales.
that it?
No, you said it right the first time.
Gales,
but
right. There's 2 Gales in it. So what are you talking about? There's 2 Bulldogs. There's 2 Gales.
No, I meant like just the top 4 that we got here.
Oh, okay. Where we are now. Okay.
Yes.
Gotcha. And we'll go back to it. Howard the Bison versus the Yukon Huskies.
I really like Huskies, but I feel like I like this imaginary Howard we made up.
I do love Howard. I'm sticking with it. I'm going Howard all the way, man.
Howard the Husky, though. That's the alliteration we're looking for.
Do you think Howard
Can they
the
join
Bison
forces?
has a Husky named Howard also?
Howard named his Husky Howard.
Yeah.
Howard the Husky or Howard the Bison?
Now I feel like I want to pick Huskies because we made up this imaginary Husky named Howard.
And he's got the alliteration going for him.
But he would be nowhere without Howard the Bison.
That's true. He's the original. Ugh.
This is
I got to go Howard. Howard the Bison.
I'll say which one. All right, Bison Bits.
Okay. TCU Horned Frogs versus the Boise State Broncos here.
I think
I do
Horned Frog is cooler.
Yeah, I like the idea of the Horned Frog advancing.
But Boise State Broncos sounds better.
It's got a great
No,
rank.
I'm going TCU, so it doesn't matter what you think. Okay.
Okay.
We move on to the
I'm
Elite
happy
8
with
here
either.
between these two, and this is where the Elite 8 for all these just stinks because it's such a good names. We got Howard the Bison versus the TCU Horned Frogs, and I'm going to let you guys fight this out because I have no idea.
I just like Howard.
Howard the Horned Frog. A lot of H's.
It's the double H's
Sneaking,
again.
yeah, a lot of H's sneaking in here. I mean, we are from Buffalo, so Buffalo
Don't do
Bison
it.
also.
Don't do it to me.
He sneaks in a little bit as well. Howard the Buffalo Bison. They got to name Buster Howard now. Where's that petition? Yeah, I'll go with Howard. Sure.
Thank God I don't have to make the decision. I'll go TCU.
Oh wow, Pat has to make the decision.
I
No,
was
he already did. He
already
picked
said
Howard.
Howard.
Oh,
That's why I was hoping you weren't going to pick TCU and make me decide.
I should have. Dang.
Okay, we are in the final 4. And the matchups here are the Maryland Terrapins versus the Vermont Mounting Catamounts. And the other side, we got the Colgate Raiders versus Howard the Bison. So we'll start with the left-hand side here. Maryland, who came in here, and let me scroll to the top here. Maryland was the number 8 seed, and the Vermont Catamounts were the 15 seed. So our brackets would have been busted if we would have went with this route in real time. So Maryland Little Turtles or the Mounting Catamounts.
I mean, I feel like it's pretty obvious which way I'm leaning, so I'm going to let you guys talk it out.
I'm leaning the Mounted Cats, Pat, but if you are in favor of the Turtles, I will hear you out before I make a decision.
I'm just going with Terrapins just because I think turtles are cooler, specifically this little guy who apparently gets eaten. And I don't want the Catamounts to win because Phil tricked you.
He's still got a grudge against these Catamounts. Yeah, I'm definitely going the cats that mount. It's hilarious. Amount of cats.
Although I can't be upset about it because we just made up this bison named Howard.
All of these are made up. We got Raider stealing plaque that brush your teeth for you from Colgate.
I'm going with the cats that mount in Vermont.
Can we visit Vermont and find these mountain cats?
As long as we just visit a maple syrup factory first.
Deal.
Okay. Oh, other side of the bracket, we got the Colgate Raiders, who were somehow another 15 seed that advanced. But to top that, we had the 16 seeded Howard the Bison. So good luck, gentlemen.
At this point, I feel like I'm just all in on Howard.
See, I'm leaning Howard, but it still goes back to I don't like having to brush my teeth. And once again, if a Raider will do it for me, we just butchered all these names, but that's why we do this kind of stuff. So I don't know. Would I rather have a Raider brushing my teeth or befriend Howard the Bison?
You know, Howard the Bison is probably such a good guy, he would brush your teeth for you.
I don't think I want a bison brushing my teeth. Don't think he's going to do a very good job.
It's no offense to Howard, but...
Right, I just don't...
I was saying he would offer.
Well, the offer's nice, but I need someone who's going to do it. Yeah, just because we didn't make him choose last time. I mean, Pat is